Hi, I'm Michael Kourosh. I live in Santa Barbara, California, one of the most beautiful places on earth. My design center is where people come to reimagine their homes and spaces. I work with the best designers, clients with broad tastes, and experts who navigate the fascinating world of design. I'm always excited to learn something new, and I never say no to a challenge. This is Design Santa Barbara. Welcome to Design Santa Barbara. I'm Michael Kourosh, and please join us today as we explore the countries of Southern Balkan. Today we are in Kourosh, Montenegro. Let's look into its importance in the history. Please join us. Montenegro, a small country on the Adriatic Sea, is a land of dramatic contrasts, where soaring mountains crash into deep blue waters, where ancient stone towns cling to the coastline, and where traditions have survived centuries of changing empires. Though compact, Montenegro's culture and architectural heritage is rich, layered, and deeply rooted in the rugged terrain that has shaped its people. The story of Montenegro begins in antiquity, when Illyrian tribes dominated the region before the Romans expanded into the Balkans. Evidence of Roman presence, such as mosaics, roads, and fortified settlements, still dots the landscape today. After the Rome's fall, waves of Slavic migrations in the 6th and 7th centuries reshaped the region and laid the foundation for early Montenegrin identity. By the Middle Ages, the Principality of Duklia emerged as one of the first organized states in the region, later evolved into the medieval state of Zeta. During this period, Montenegro developed a tradition of independence, forged in its steep mountains and fortified highland villages. These refuge-like settlements allowed Montenegrins to resist encroaching empires from the Byzantines to the Ottomans. While much of the Balkans fell under Ottoman rule, Montenegro's mountainous terrain enabled it to maintain a unique form of autonomy, one led by warrior princes known as Vladikas, who combined religious and secular authority. Montenegro's culture grew around this fierce independence. Its folk songs and oral epics celebrate heroism, honor, and loyalty. Even today, Montenegrin identity is tied to the values of resilience and hospitality, shaped by centuries of life in the highlands. Traditional dress, music played by the gozli, a single-stringed instrument, and vibrant village festivals preserve these customs. Architecturally, Montenegro reflects its blend of Mediterranean and Balkan influences. Nowhere is this more striking than along the Adriatic coast. Towns like Kotor, Budva, and Perost showcase Venetian Gothic, Baroque, and Renaissance styles, testament of 4 centuries of Venetian rule. Kotor, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is encircled by massive stone walls that climb the mountainside. Within these walls lie narrow streets, medieval churches, and charming squares that tell the story of a wealthy maritime republic shaped by the trade and seafaring. Prast, with its elegant palaces and churches, reveals the influence of wealthy merchant families who built homes facing the Bay of Kotor, often called Europe's southernmost fjord. Offshore, the man-made island of Our Lady of Rocks adds a legendary touch to the landscape, built stone by local sailors over centuries. Inland, Montenegro's architecture changes dramatically. The mountain regions feature stone villages, monasteries tucked into cliffs, and fortified towers that once served as homes, outlook points, and symbol of clan strength. The Ostrog Monastery, dramatically carved into a sheer rock face, is one of country's most important spiritual sites, a place of pilgrimage that draws people of all faiths. The 19th and 20th centuries brought modern political transformations. Montenegro became a recognized kingdom in 1878, later emerging into Kingdom of Yugoslavia. After the breakup of Yugoslavia in the 1990s, Montenegro eventually declared independence in 2006, becoming one of Europe's youngest sovereign states. Modern architecture of Podgorica, the capital, includes contemporary government buildings and bridges that reflect Montenegro's dynamic new chapter. Yet, despite modernization, Montenegro remains deeply connected to its cultural roots. Its cuisine blends Mediterranean flavors with hearty Balkan dishes, fresh seafood, slow-cooked meats, local wines, and the beloved smoked ham known as Negushki prosciutto. Its music, festivals, and traditions reflect a vibrant, living heritage. Montenegro is a land where every view tells a story of empires and clans, of mountains and sea, and of people who have shaped their culture through resilience and pride. Its architecture, history, and traditions come together to form a unique portrait of a nation both ancient and young, rugged and refined, always beautiful and unforgettable. This week on Design FYI, we're going to talk about sofas and the unknown mistakes people make. Did you know average American spends 46 minutes a day in a car? But they spend 5 hours and 4 minutes on average on a sofa. So why would you go out there and spend tens of thousands of dollars for something you use for 46 minutes and then go ahead and buy something cheap that you sit on it for 5 hours and 4 minutes? At Santa Barbara Design Center, we create your custom sofa that is made for you specifically and to your shape and size and comfort and your family. So when you're sitting and watching TV or talking and conversing with your friends, you're sitting on actually something that represents you. Your car represents you, why shouldn't your sofa? Thank you for joining us on Design FYI this week, and please come see me at Santa Barbara Design Center, 4th and Olive, and let me help you find the right sofa for you and your family. When you're in Balkans, I recommend you to stop at Skopje. This is a town in Macedonia, and it's the birthplace of Mother Teresa. She was born to an Albanian and a gypsy family, and she dedicated her life to the poor and less fortunate. A lot of people ask, who is the celebrity? Those movie actors and singers are just famous people, not celebrities. People like Mother Teresa that dedicate their life to humanity are real celebrities. Come and visit this place. North Macedonia, a landlocked country in the heart of the Balkans, is a place where history stretches across millennia and where architecture serves as one of the clearest windows into its evolving identity. Though the modern nation gained independence in 1991, the roots of Macedonian culture reach deep into ancient world. From the paean of Alexander the Great to the spiritual legacy of medieval Orthodox Christianity, and later the influence of Ottoman Empire and Yugoslavia. Each era has left a distinct architectural imprint on the landscape. The earliest foundation of what is now North Macedonia traced back to the ancient kingdom of Paeonia and the broader Macedonian region of antiquity. But many of the most recognizable architectural forms stem from the Byzantine and medieval periods. The arrival of Slavic peoples in the 6th and 7th centuries set the stage for a culturally rich society, one that would later become central to the spread of Orthodox Christianity and the development of Cyrillic script through Saints Cyril and Methodius. This heritage is reflected vividly in Macedonia's medieval architecture, especially its monasteries and churches. The 13th century church of St. Panteleimon at Nerezi, for instance, is celebrated for its expressive frescoes, masterpieces that blend Byzantine form with local artistic individuality. In Ohrid, often called the Jerusalem of the Balkans, the architecture of Byzantine basilicas, stone houses, and terraced streets showcase a continuous spiritual tradition. The Church of St. John at Caneo, perched dramatically above Lake Ohrid, exemplifies the country's harmony between nature and sacred space. Centuries of Ottoman rule, beginning in the 14th century, introduced a new architectural vocabulary. Mosques with slender minarets, covered markets, Turkish baths, and stone bridges reshaped the urban fabric. Skopje's Old Bazaar remains one of the largest and best preserved Ottoman bazaars in Europe. The labyrinth of artisan workshops, caravanserais, and mosques such as Mustafa Pasha Mosque, which rises with elegant domes and geometric ornamentation. In contrast, the northern and western regions of the country were shaped by traditional Macedonian vernacular architecture. Whitewashed stone and wood houses with overhang upper floors, red-tiled roofs, and enclosed courtyards. These dwellings, found in towns like Kratovo, Krusevo, Vevchani, reveal the everyday artistry of the past. Intricate wooden interiors, carved ceilings, and narrow cobblestone streets that follow contours of the land. The 20th century marked a dramatic transformation. Under the Kingdom of Yugoslavia and later Socialist Yugoslavia, North Macedonia embraced modernism. After the devastating 1963 Skopje earthquake, the capital became a canvas for radical architectural innovation. World-renowned architects include Japan's Kenzo Tange, proposed bold urban plans that introduce sculptural concrete forms, wide boulevards, and modernist civic buildings. Structures like the Skopje Telecommunication Center, the Goce Delchev Student Dormitory, and the massive post office, often described as futuristic or brutalist, reflect a period of experimentation rarely seen elsewhere in the Balkans. In the 21st century, North Macedonia entered another architectural chapter with the Skopje 2014 project, a controversial and highly visible attempt to reshape the capital's identity. Neoclassical and Baroque-style facades were added to government buildings, monumental statues appeared throughout the city, and the Museum of Archaeology, the National Theatre, and the government building were remodeled and decidedly historicizing style. Supporters saw it as a revival of national pride, while critics viewed it as an artificial creation at odds with Skopje's modernist heritage. The result, however, is unmistakable. A striking and sometimes surprising contrast between the sleek concrete of socialist modernism and the ornate symmetry of newly constructed classical forms. Across North Macedonia, the architecture continues to tell the story of a nation shaped by diverse civilizations, shifting borders, and evolving cultural aspirations. From the frescoed silence of medieval churches to the bustling Ottoman bazaar, from modernist concrete sculpted after an earthquake to contemporary grand facades along the Vardar River, the country's built environment is a mosaic of its past and present, dynamic, layered, and utterly unique.
Santa Barbara Pizza House is your home for the best pizza in town. Featuring specialty pizzas named after iconic Santa Barbara streets, our mouth-watering menu will have you coming back over and over again to try each new meal. Visit us online at sbpizzahouse.com or call and place your order. Santa Barbara Pizza House, You won't leave hungry.
Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. Please join us as we explore the Balkan countries. Today we are in Mostar in Bosnia Herzegovina. What a wonderful country. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a land where Europe's great cultural currents meet, where empires have risen and fallen, where religions have intertwined, and where centuries of art, architecture, and tradition coexisted in a remarkably small but endlessly diverse landscape. Located at the crossroads of Central and Southern Europe, Bosnia and Herzegovina has been shaped by a long and layered history. The Illyrians were its earliest known inhabitants before the Romans brought their roads, forts, and urban planning to the region. After the fall of Rome, Slavic peoples settled in the 6th and 7th centuries, laying the foundations of the Bosnian state. By the Middle Ages, Bosnia had emerged as a kingdom known for its unique Christian sect, the Bosnian Church, and for its fortified hilltop towns that still crown the country's mountains today. But perhaps no period influenced Bosnia and Herzegovina more deeply than the nearly 4 centuries of Ottoman rule. Beginning in the 1400s, under the Ottoman Empire, Bosnia became a vibrant center of trade, religion, and craftsmanship. The Ottomans introduced Islam, built mosques and caravanserais, and developed bustling bazaars that still pulled with life. Cities like Sarajevo and Mostar grew into multicultural hubs where Muslims, Orthodox Christians, Catholics, and Jews lived side by side. This coexistence gave the country its distinctive social fabric, a blend of Eastern and Western traditions that continues to define it. In the late 19th century, Bosnia came under Austro-Hungarian rule, and with it came an entirely new architectural and cultural layer. Elegant Viennese-style buildings, grand civic institutions, and wide boulevards transformed Sarajevo and other urban centers. The mix of Ottoman alleyways and Austro-Hungarian avenues created an architectural dialogue unique to Bosnia, where ornate mosques stand just steps from neo-Renaissance palaces. The 20th century brought dramatic changes. Bosnia and Herzegovina became part of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia after World War I, and later the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia after World War II. The Yugoslav era added a modernist imprint to the architectural landscape, including imposing concrete monuments known as spomeniks, symbols of resilience and collective memory. And though the country endured devastating conflict in the 1990s, Bosnia and Herzegovina has worked tirelessly to rebuild and preserve its cultural heritage. Today, the nation's architecture serves as a visual timeline of its complex past. In Mostar, the iconic Starry Most, originally built by the Ottomans and painstakingly reconstructed after its destruction, arches gracefully over the turquoise Neretva River. In Sarajevo, the Gazi Husrev Beg Mosque stands as a masterpiece of Ottoman design, while nearby the Austro-Hungarian era City Hall, with its striking pseudo-Moorish style, reflects the empire's attempt to blend Europe and Oriental aesthetics. Beyond its monuments, the culture of Bosnia and Herzegovina is rich with traditional music, food, and storytelling. Sevdalinka, the soulful folk music of the region, captures the emotional depth of Bosnian life. Its cuisine blends Turkish, Mediterranean, and Central European flavors, offering dishes like cevapi, börek, and sweet tuf haija. And throughout Its cities and towns, the warmth and hospitality of its people remain one of the most enduring cultural treasures. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a country where history is never far from view, woven into its streets, sung in its music, and etched into its architecture. It is a place of extraordinary beauty and resilience, where centuries of culture come together to tell a story unlike any other in Europe. Dubrovnik, often called the Pearl of the Adriatic, is one of the most striking architectural treasures in Europe. A city where limestone streets, red tiled roofs, and massive stone walls come together in a timeless harmony. Its architecture tells the story of a proud maritime republic, shaped by trade, diplomacy, and resilience. Walking through Dubrovnik is like stepping into a living museum, where every corner reveals a layer of history crafted in stone. At the heart of Dubrovnik's architectural identity are its fortifications, among the finest and best preserved in the world. Encircling the old town for nearly 2 kilometers, the city walls, built and perfected between the 12th and 17th centuries, stand up to 25 meters high and 6 meters thick. Towering bastions like Mindseta Tower, with its circular crown, were designed to repel invaders with both elegance and strength. The Bokar Fortress, the Revelin Fort, and the St. John Fortress collectively demonstrate Dubrovnik's mastery of defensive architecture in the age of Venice and Ottoman Empire. Inside these powerful walls, the city unfolds in a grid of Renaissance and Baroque buildings, shaped by both ambition and disaster. The devastating earthquake of 1667 destroyed much of medieval Dubrovnik, but the city rebuilt itself with characteristic determination. What followed was a wave of Baroque reconstruction that gave Dubrovnik its refined, harmonious appearance. The uniform stone facades and carefully planned streets reflect a unified style seldom achieved in medieval European cities. At the center lies the Stradun, the city's polished limestone boulevard, lined with elegant townhouses of identical height and design. It is spine of Dubrovnik's architectural rhythm. Their simplicity, arched doorways, green shutters, and the stone balconies mirrors the Republic's values of order and restraint. Dubrovnik's religious and civic buildings further enrich its architectural landscape. The Rector's Palace, once the seat of the Republic's government, blends Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque elements into a graceful whole, with its arcaded courtyards and finely carved details. Nearby, the Sponza Palace, one of the few buildings to survive the 1667 earthquake, displays exquisite late Gothic and Renaissance craftsmanship. Its elegant loggia once hosted merchants, judges, and poets, capturing the spirit of Dubrovnik's vibrant public life. Among the city's sacred architecture, the Dubrovnik Cathedral, rebuilt in grand Baroque style after the earthquake, stands prominently with its dome rising over the rooftops. The Franciscan Monastery, with one of Europe's oldest pharmacies, and the Dominican Monastery, with its robust Gothic portal, add depth and serenity to the architectural landscape. Today, Dubrovnik's architecture endures not only as a symbol of its past, but as the stage for living culture. Its walls, streets, and palaces continue to inspire travelers from around the world, preserving the legacy of a city that mastered the art of survival through beauty, ingenuity, and stone. I hope you enjoyed today's show on the countries of the North Balkan, but before we depart the beautiful port of Dubrovnik in Croatia, stay tuned. I want to show you a couple of hand-woven textiles from this part of the world. All right, now today we have this fantastic Thracian kilim that was woven in Eastern Balkans, most likely in Bulgaria or somewhere in Romania. The Balkans were ruled by the Ottomans for centuries, and the weaving got from the Turkish weavers to this neighborhood, and they did wonderful works of art, and we have few samples here in our store that you can look at them. Usually they are 19th century because the older ones, they are woven flat and they wore out and they are not in the market anymore. So this particular one is a 19th century piece, is in excellent condition, unusual size. The women wove this to pass along their traditions, to not only create a nice floor covering, but also pass along as inheritance, pass along to show the designs they made centuries ago and to keep the traditions alive. This particular one is called bird nest. So if you look carefully, let me see here, for instance. So you have the bird mother or father sitting there, and there is a little baby bird in the nest at top of the tree, and this is sign of hope, sign of fertility, and sign of passing one button to the next. And the colors on this are fabulous. If you look carefully, they're all natural dyes. They have this purple that they get from aubergine. The blue is from indigo. The black is a very hard color to get. It's really not black, it's a dark charcoal. They get it from walnut shells. And it is full of symmetry actually, and is a wonderful piece and a very decorative one as such. So after this one, we're gonna show you a Bessarabian one. And now we have here the fabulous Bessarabian kilim. These were woven again in the Eastern Balkan, and starting from Romania, Bulgaria, you go to Ukraine and Moldova. They have this large scale neoclassical European design. This particular one is probably over 150, 160 years old. It's in mint condition. Very beautiful piece to add to any living space. The colors have held up amazingly because they're natural dyes. Natural dyes don't fade. Synthetic dyes, like you buy a t-shirt nowadays, it fades to hell in matter of months. But these, think about it, 160, 170 years, and it's still as bright as the day one. The colors are all natural. It's woven. The way the kilim is woven on this is slightly different. Usually kilims are woven in a straight lines. If you look carefully, this thing takes curves, and the linen, the lines get curved, and you can create these beautiful round images like the flowers are. Again, big flowers, big scale, vibrant colors. It just makes a room come alive and create this very prestigious, rich room. If you want to see it, it's at Santa Barbara Design Center.